cars on the grids. To the right, you have the Porsche. To the left, you have the Ferrari. Porsche versus Ferrari on the front row. 2.4 hours of racing. One time, run around the clock, and we are on the way. And it's looking like a good start for Omar Ali. But everyone in Hypercar has had a decent start. In the back, you can see the spike already making up positions there. Omar Ali leads them down towards turn 1. Mohamed Colombo still sitting in second, cleaning up. Then in the Peugeot, 3 cars going off, 4 cars going off. Thomas Robert now having a great start there. The 2 Peugeot side by side, and there's Robert in the mix as well. Ferrari, decent start in Hypercar for everyone. No one has been lost on the opening lap, as we now have Ferrari against Cadillac. The V8 monster roaring down the back straight. The 2 Kranzig horses right behind. The 50 and the 51. The 50 now tucking into the slipstream. Human Corpus that is, and now both Ferraris of the Cadillac. And Human Corpus moves to the inside, making a move on his teammate. There's 1 Ferrari to the left, 1 to the right, 3 wide down the Mulsanne straight. The Cadillac has got the advantage down to the first of the chicanes. Who's gonna be ahead? It's looking like Human Corpus has a little straight line speed advantage. 2 Ferraris, 1 Cadillac. The Cadillac pulls down 2 Ferraris, taking it careful. There's Robert Precker going off the road, and suddenly there's a chance for the Cadillac to strike back. Now into the toe of Human Corpus, still 3 wide. Ferrari still sticking in behind his teammate. Now, Cadillac of Ashton Dunn still trying everything to stay ahead of the 2 Ferrari cars. In the back you can see Edward Hanna making this move, and I think Alphonse Valley has lost out to Jaden Van Ravenschaar, but what a start it was from that car, from that number 14 car, from 4th to 1st. What a start. But it's not over here up in front, it's still Ferraris, they're still hungry for the Cadillac, and it's Cadillac trying to hold on against Human Corpus and Norbert Drecker. Human Corpus to the inside of Indianapolis. He's trying to find a way very hard on the brakes for the Cadillac, but he's still got it. And I think now he's somewhat tapping down at the LP2 class, and there's Walter Dunk spinning off, and there is 1 car off, and I don't know who it was. It wasn't Robert English, no, it was Jake Van Leren, and it was Cameron Thompson who had a moment there. In the other GT3 cars, and Montana ahead of Isaac Busby, and Montana takes the lead in a number 60 Corvette. And the Porsche that started all the way in the back, is already up into 7th position in Adam Taylor. P8. Corey Jason dropped away down till 9th. We have Maro Latayo and Ben Morris Hodges there in the back. And that is Ari Venter, last of the cars on track. Norschler has already retired on that one. Let's now look back at the front. There's Thomas Robert Ham putting the pressure on Mohamed Colombo through the Porsche curves. The Peugeot driver that has still 0 points in the championship, going a little bit wide there, taking out a braking board. Mohamed Colombo seemingly feeling it, trying to get some heat into these tires. Yeah, the Peugeot is an absolute straight line speed monster down the Mulsanne. Omar Ali now not the best of exits there. There's the chance for the number 83 car. Mohamed Colombo getting a little bit too close there onto the brakes, having to cut a little. That's going to give him a track limit warning by the game. He's got 8 of these until he gets a drive-through penalty. Having yellow flag. There's someone tumbling down the order to Ari Venter. Trying to fight his way through the Element GT3 field. As well as Ben Morris Hodges having a moment. Have they potentially come together? They're last cars on the track, so it might be. This is not over, then still Ferrari against Cadillac. The blue nose Cadillac trying to hold on against the pressure from the 2 Italian cars. Number 7 Toyota Cadillac. and Ferrari door handles draw. Wait, well, they don't have door handles, but it's definitely side by side here. In the early stages of this race, we're seeing a lot of fighting as well. Now, looking at everything we have currently here, Busby leads in GP3. Berlin has retaken the lead for Hertz Team Jota ahead of Walter Dunk, Minecraft and Jesper Kuzman. Inter is running P2 and P3. It's now Norbert Prager trying to get ahead of the Cadillac of, hold on, don't you know? I have no idea how that name is pronounced, I'm sorry. From there's a train of 5 hypercars, all separated by roughly 110 in Formula 1. We would say they have a DRS. Obviously, that's not a thing here in the WEC, in the NXT Sprint Series. Got like flashing lights indicating there's going to be a move coming up soon. Robert English currently sitting in P6, hungry, trying to get to his teammate who's currently in P1. He's got Jane van Ravenstein, who had a mighty start in that Spike, number 14 Spike car. Now he has fallen off a bit there, just McCruisemannen. Currently in P4, I think he's had a moment there. The two into Euro cars. Minecraft has overtaken Walter Dunn. Absolutely crazy pace Minecraft is showing here, and Inter running 2 and 3. That is the best ever they have been in NXT. Now in GT3, it's everything is somewhat calm. As now Andrew Taylor is feeling pressure from Mauro Lataio. I'm sorry for that name pronunciation. You gotta teach me how to do that. And Taylor stays ahead in the number 81 Corvette. Lataio finds himself at the back of the other GT3 fields. If he has to Ben Morris Hodges. In the number 44 Mustang. Lataio smelling a chance as an LMP2 car. They're racing him for position every eventer. It was the car that had an incident on lap 1. Lataio not really fighting that. He knows that is never going to be his fight. The BMW getting out of the way. Is there anything happening at the moment? The two Europol cars side by side. No, Minecraft hasn't had the best of exits, and now there's the opportunity for Walter Dunn. I don't know how hard they'll be racing, considering they're currently dead last in the Constructors' Championship. They might want to think about the team game here and playing this together, the Polish team. I think that's a little bit of bump drafting, is it? No, it's just an optical illusion, I'm sorry. Oh, not the best of exit there for Minecraft. And now there's Walter Dunk up behind his teammates. Trying to find a way past Minecraft. There's the uneven part of the road. Rather stay in the middle where it's definitely the better place to be. Minecraft is gonna he's gonna hold on to that inside line. Minecraft now pulls it's in between Jesper Kuzman and Walter Dunk in second place, whereas Alphonse Belling is flying, having 5 seconds of the gap already. Omar Ali up in front as well, leading by 2 seconds. This is the fight for a second. Still Thomas Rotherham, who's holding on to the rear wing of Mohamed Colombo. I have a slight feeling that this is gonna end in a little bit of a kerfuffle for these boys, as we have someone struggling, it seems. Don't really know yet. Let's watch. Let's go back to these 5 boys. They're really going at it here. Thomas Wagner had to let go of the train up in front, so it's only Omar Ali leading Mohamed Colombo. Colombo, keep in mind, he's not going to score points, or Persia is going to pick up a P2 and a P3, which will definitely help them. And there's Hubert Korkmaz going wide, and that is the chance for the Cadillac to make up some ground and try to get into this number 7 Toyota, which also is debuting on track actually. The number 8 car was on track already, has won the season opener with Nicholas Ulrich. Well, but I'm definitely eager to see what they'll bring. 5 to 7 minutes into this race, and I've and we've already had that much of action. As Corey Jason now finds himself fighting out the order, overtaking his teammate Alvarez and Jules, and that is Hubert Korkmaz, number 50 Ferrari. Car is going to be Alphonse Berlin, and it's approaching turn 1, so you have Korkmaz. Unlucky for him, he was having a decent time. He's a bit of a hole in this train of 5. And Morris Hodges has decided to retire in the pit lane. Oh, as the 2 Corvettes have seemingly made contact. Oh, that is the worst scenario for Corvette. They're down in last in the LMGT3 standings, and I think Andrew Taylor, if you look at the front bumper of that Corvette, has a little bit of damage to the left. Not good for Corvette, definitely. Robert Ham still trying desperately to hold on to the wheel of Colombo. Whereas now, Jasper Friesmann finds himself under a little bit of pressure. Jake from Raffstein. Alphonse Valley currently going way quicker than the cars out behind. Oh, this is going to be a long, long race. Altitude is still very much in one big train. Only one of them. Aaron Venture is still down in the LMG. The track map could definitely help my teams. For the Porsche Penske Motorsports. So Porsche Penske is going to score another win, 50 points being added, and that would make Ferrari the champion of NXT. Ferrari, of course, currently sitting P6 and P9. No points for Hubert Korkmaz at that rate. Never mind, actually it will be some points. The number 2 Cadillac, being an entry, will score points. Number 7 Toyota will score points. Number 99 Proto Competition will not score any points. It's going to be P7 for Hubert Korkmaz. Whereas Toyota is currently leading. Will pick up a lot of points here, which is dangerous. Because it's a bunch of points if you win this one, 30 in total, and that is all they would need. Because Jake Van Laren is not really up there. Jake Van Rappen will not score any points, and neither will Edward Cocknell, but still, even finishes like this, Kramer would have... Jesper Kuisman has seemingly made a mistake. He's now down behind Cameron Thompson and now under pressure by Robert English, the second of the Jota cast. This is your fight for the World Constructors Championship, Robert. Is what the team will probably tell him. But now he goes off onto the gravel. He's not too far back, so it's not too bad. Especially not here around Le Mans, you can make up a lot of time. Jesper Kuisman are closing up on the rear of Cameron Thompson. The CLX car having a little bit of troubles. Jesper Kuisman now to the inside line. Will Thompson allow him to take that line? Kuisman around the outside. Thompson's going to have the inside line. Jesper Kuisman's now going to have the inside line onto the gravel. And there goes Kuisman and Thompson. There was contact. And that is a horrible scenario for Prema, because not only is Alphonse Valley in P1, their number one driver finds himself now down in P9, and Jake Van Laren has DNF'd. So Prema at this rate will score one singular point. Jesper Kuisman furious, flashing the lights, furiously saying, "What are you doing, mate?" Does mean on the other hand that Alphonse Valley is currently has a 7-second gap to Walter Dunk. The rest of the field is fairly close. That's a good LMGP3 class. Isaac Busby, we haven't seen a lot of them, of the LMGP3s. Isaac Busby still leading ahead of everyone can on Roland Dozer. Corey Jason currently in P4. He's complained a lot about his Lexus, saying he doesn't understand this car. With Mauro Tayo ahead of the long Porsche, it's good to see that car. Like, you cannot have GT3 racing and then not have Porsche on the grid. It really hurts to not see this car over a full season. The good thing is we'll see Manthey and Iron Dames next season with their respective cars on the track. Yeah. So, looking at the front, it's not the leading car. The leading car is 8 more seconds up the road, Omar Ali. But Mohamed Colombo not really getting away from the two Peugeots. Lillian Camp and Robert Ham can't seem to go the pace of that Ferrari car. And Robert Ham is closer than ever, 2/10 being the gap right now, down to 1/10. Probably not going to dive, and then there's the mistake from Mohamed Colombo into turn 1. That's going to cost him a lot of time. Robert Ham, he hasn't had the best exit either, so they will definitely be racking up the penalties here. Robert Ham now to the inside line. Just focus on the exit of that turn. Whoever has the better exit now out of this corner will have an advantage down the Mulsanne straight. Robert Ham pulling a little bit out, and I think Mohamed Colombo has maybe done enough to keep himself ahead of the Peugeot. You can see up the road there, and going for the first of the Mulsanne chicanes is Omar Ali, and he's absolutely flying. There is the light flashing from the Peugeot. Colombo defends the inside line. Robert Ham's going to have to go a long way around. Does he decide to stick to it? Oh no, he locks it up a little and loses the car. He's allowed to rejoin. There's an LMGT3 out the road being Andrew Taylor. Be predictable, and he is exactly that. And they have another GT3 up the road. And now Robert Ham smelling. He's gone for the inside line. Mohamed Colombo has it covered by going a little bit later onto the brakes. And there is the 82 Corvette that has current studio has lost it. With the wall, might this be a retirement for the 82 car? Might be. We have lost 2 LMP2 prototypes and 1 LMGT3. Mohamed Colombo under huge amounts of pressure and pressure. It's beginning. Nighttime is calling. First of these headlights are going on. That is a horrible angle there, so jeez. Colombo now still ahead. He's just holding on to it ever so slightly. It's Minecraft. Walter Dunk is not really getting away from Minecraft. Over the gravel territories. More of the LMGT3 Queen of the Porsche coming. Also a lot of drivers streaming their race. There's now the 66 Ferrari, so you can definitely check them out. But that traffic is going to play into the cards of Thomas Robertham. He goes to the inside for turn 1. Colombo sticks to the outside line. Robertham and Colombo, millimeters between the two of them. There's a little touch as well, but Robertham is ahead. Has he outbraked himself? Maybe. Colombo goes round the outside with a beautiful defensive move on the Peugeot behind Colombo. And Thomas Robertham putting an absolute masterclass of a show in these early stages of this race as we reach the 2 hours remaining here at Circuit de la South. Now is back in what Peugeot does best. Power, get the power down and fly, fly, fly. And he's gaining ever so slightly on the Ferrari. There's LMP2 traffic as well as LMGT3 traffic coming up the road. Every Venter, and he's still fighting his way through the LMGT3 field. And now Thomas Robertham defends the inside. Colombo goes for tries to go a little bit deeper. Goes for Thomas Robertham. Now they're going side by side down the Mulsanne. There's traffic up the road, side by side. The Peugeot and the Ferrari. The Peugeot is pulling that little gap ever so slightly, but the Ferrari is not absolutely defenseless. And now Robertham has got LMGT3 traffic. They're still side by side. Colombo tries to go for the long way around. The LMP, they're not going to catch the LMP2. Up until the next corner. It's not going to play into the cards of Lilian Camp. He's got a yellow flag. Now the LMP2 being overtaken by one. Now 2 hypercars fighting for P2. Omar Ali meanwhile cruising out of front with 11 seconds of a gap. Oh, now Robertham's going deep, and there goes Colombo. An absolute masterclass of a fight. They got the Lexus of Corey Jason, the championship leading in LMGT3 to go around the outside. I think we're gonna have a classic. One to the left, one to the right. We're gonna see how Jason's gonna position that car. Oh my god, that is a horrible camera angle now. Robertham's getting. Oh my god. I had a slight heart attack there. Sorry. I don't know what the game was doing there, but now LMGT3 traffic. What is happening with the lobby? Hello. That is the worst possible timing. A bit of bumping here. Now it's getting personal. Robertham. And now we got all 3 classes meeting each other on the track. Lilian Camp also zooming by the LMGT3 fight for P2. Now Robert Dozer against Isaac Busby. See if we made a mistake because Edward Penner is currently in the lead on the LMGT3 field. Out of retirement. Back to the fight in LMGT3. Now the other Peugeot is trying to get into the mix as well. Now Busby on the inside, Dozer on the outside. Has Busby done enough to get ahead of this? What an What an L that was! That was right into the side of the McLaren. Maybe a miscalculation, maybe a sign to say, buddy, I am here and I do not like how you're handling me. Either way, it's definitely gonna be. That's definitely not gonna be it. There's a Proton Porsche of Thomas Varkish on his former teammate in GT3. There's no McLaren hypercar, so Varkish has gone for the Porsche 963 from Proton competition instead. And now he's got Norbert Precker behind. He's not in Porsche Penske Motorsport, so he doesn't have to hold him up. But that number 51 car is the only car that could stop Omar Adigil. But he's 26 seconds down on him as we now broke into the second hour of this race. And we got 2 more hours to go, guys. Defending the inside is the Proton Porsche. There's the leading car in LMGP3, being the number 60 Lamborghini of Edward Penner. Tracker into the back of Varkish. Varkish trying to fend off that Ferrari car. It's now Robert English half. Jaden Van Ravenstein going wide there, has at a moment off. Then it comes Ronald Martinez and Jasper Kruisman, all in one train. Championship leading Tremor car, currently on for 7th place. Or not a 9th place on track, but a 7th in counts of points. And now there's into the pit lane, the Spike. Is this a retirement for only AL by TF Racing team? Might be, not entirely sure. It's Ferrari at the back. Even Koopmans, he's been in the pit lane, so he's at the back of the LMP2 class right now. But Varkish and Cracker basically is getting personal slowly. Now the fight is getting personal. I just almost missed out. It's a fight for P2. It's Isaac Rusby, Roland Doza, and Corey Jason, all bunched up. Those are now going for the inside line on Isaac Busby. And really pushing that BMW, trying to make space. GT3 racing at its finest. There Busby on the inside of the McLaren. More banging doors. More banging doors. This has to go wrong if they keep it on like that. Varkish now flashing lights. There's Corey Jason now all of a sudden appearing on the scene. Going the long way around. There's a lot more room given by Varkish, so I think not by Varkish, by Doza. So I think this is rather personal between him and Busby. Up in front, Corey Jason trying to find a gap there, but the Lexus is a big car, and you cannot find a gap that easily. Varkish Doza trying to let Busby know something, that this is not over yet, but he's now going to worry about the 87 car of Corey Jason. They're still in the championship fight there. In LMGP3, the fight is very close still. Corey Jason not happy in that Lexus, trying to... He already in talks with BMW for Season 2, I heard. We'll surely try to find another date for these races, maybe on a Sunday. We're not entirely sure though yet, because it's a definitely it's a full schedule for me and for the other owners and drivers. Event is still in that pack, in that LMGP3 pack. A race to forget for the CLX Racing team. So, looking at the hypercar grids, looking at the results. Currently, Omar Ali leading Hypercar by 12 seconds to Thomas Robertham, who's another 2.2 seconds up the road of Mohamed Colombo. Then Nico Livian comes 3.3 seconds behind that Ferrari AF course car in P4. It has settled down for the Hypercars. Thomas Varkish and Ortega still fighting it out. You can see Precker now going around the outside of Varkish and has cleared the Proton Porsche for now. Then we have Sean O'Donnell in the... I don't know how to pronounce that name, I'm sorry. Ian Hamilton Cadillac, 17P7, and Schultz and Colin Wolf in last place, in penultimate place in the Hypercar. As Alphonse Vella is leading LMP2 by 13 seconds to Walter Dunk, who's 3.4 seconds. Finding some pace now in the night hours ahead of Mike Kraft, his teammate. Then Robert English in P4 for Ernestine Jolter. A huge chunk of points for Ernestine Jolter coming their way. Then Edward Corcoran in the AF course car right behind them. Cameron Thompson fighting Jasper Kruisman and Ronald Martinez. Down in 6th place in LMP2. Jaden van Ravenstein. In between there's the Ferrari of Umut Kalkmaz that had to box several laps ago. Damage. Then there's Edward Penner, ahead of Isaac Busby. Roland Dozer. Then Harry Vent is still trying to fight his way through the GT3 traffic. Roland Dozer, Gorgeous, and Marilyn Tower, Alric Centurions, Thatcher Moore, Jess Whitfield, Andrew Taylor, and then the 14 has Opellicus Jr., Jake Van Leeuwen, Ben Morris Hodges, and Noah Schnurr. There you have it, there are cross leaders, Ali, Levin, and Pena. And now it's calming down, other than these two who are still throwing hands here in the night hours of Le, at the 2.4 hours of Le Mans here in NXT. We're about half an hour into this race. And we got almost 2 hours to go. And I think we'll see the first stops in the next couple of laps. It will be a 2-3 stopper, something like this. So definitely a bit of strategy here involved here and there. As now Vico Leaving Cup is losing time to but that last second wasn't it. And Thomas Robertham roughly going the same pace as Omar Ali right now, but Omar Ali 12 more seconds up the road. So unless he makes a huge mistake, I don't think that he gets a lot of the It's, oh my god, that is the Proton Porsche off, and that was, I don't know if there was contact or if it was just a mistake. Hello Raman, welcome to Le Mans. Just talking about the current situation in all the classes. We're having Robert English being chased. Also, hi to Eric. We have currently Robert English being chased now by Edward Corcoran. Now the LMP2 cars find themselves lapping the LMGT3 class. Which is number 66 Ferrari, getting out of the way. for Robert English. Still running P4. It's not a bad day for its Team Jota. Yeah, it's not a good day for Prema. One of the cars in the garage and the other down in 8th position. What can we ban this guy? This Eric guy? Yeah, in 8th position, which equals a 1-4 for the Hertz Team Jota. And, well, that is 2 total points scored for Jasper Guzman. Which would mean that the Hertz Team Jota car, Alphonse Belling, is going to take the lead in the championship. I think it is, or at least it's going to be very close between Alphonse Belling and Jasper Guzman. But hey, we still got about 110 minutes to go, so I won't write off anything. Not bad. The track is nearly affecting right now. This little battle here is Thomas March. He's getting a mobile tracker in Hypercar. That last lap he got about 2 tenths closer. And that first sector mobile tracker extended that gap to 5 more tenths. With Omar Ali currently absolutely dominating the Hypercar with about 13 seconds of a gap to Thomas Robert Ham and Mohamed Colombo in P3. Looking at the fastest laps, it is a 3:27.0 for Omar Ali, and it's a 3:27.7 for Thomas Robert Ham. Those are the only 2 drivers that are in the 27s. Other than that, every driver is going to score lower. Robert English now pulling away from Edward Cocknell. Mind Edward Cocknell is not going to score points since he's not full season entry for AF course. But you know, maybe he'll race in season 2 in the LMP2 split. Definitely missed the LMP2s in the top splits, but there's a reason the WBC got rid of them, because there's so many hypercars and people that may, for example, the BMW or the Alpine are not able to compete with their car, the car of their choice. So it's definitely okay. As Isaac Busby is being chased by Corey Jason. Now overtaking Ron Dozer in the McLaren. Looking at the penalty, closing the gap to Alpha ever so slightly, but Velling has made a big mistake in the last second because he was 1 second off. So I'm just saying, there is still a lot of laps to go, and there's a lot of opportunities as well. Here. So we have 2 people in the pit lane, that is Thomas Varkish, and it is... I'm sorry. Robert English, who's now off the road. And that allows a chance for Edward Cockle to sneak through. Robert English is going to have to try to get back. Try to get to his teammate. Looking at fast lap times, Robert English and Edward Cockle are basically absolutely equal. As I said, it's a long track, it's a difficult track, and I won't ride off anybody. There's definitely a lot of momentum that Robert English has now coming out of Indianapolis corner. And they're now making their way towards the caution curves. Throwing that car, you get a yellow somewhere around the track, it might be in the LMGP3 class. As Thomas Robertham has put the car to the stop. Kershaw, which was running in second place, has decided to bring the car into the pit lane. Well, there was some kind of damage he got, or whatever, but he is in the pits. Now it's unfortunate. Oh well, that opens the podium to Mohamed Colombo and the Colombian Cup. Interesting. As we now both inter-Europol competition cars into the pit lane as well as Edward Cockle, which means we have a Hertz Team Jolter 1-2. Alphonse Velling leading the class ahead of Robert English. It's a Hertz Team Jolter 1-2 currently, but yeah, they'll definitely have to pit. Both of them, but if they actually can make it around the track one more time, that would definitely be a big advantage in the end, because a lap, even 2 laps less here around Le Mans is like 10 seconds less on the pit stop. Colombo into the convenient type of thing, another track of the well, I'm gonna get myself a drink, and in the meantime, you can enjoy some beautiful V8 power, American V8 power as we go now, as we now follow Ash Nodon, Dumont in the number 2 Cadillac. Lovely noise, isn't it? Some Cadillac ASMR never hurt anyone. So, looking at still LP2, it is still Alphonse Valley leading the way. There's a hypercar now. Nico Lilienkamp is under pressure by Norman Precker, and Precker is really getting up, trying to get back up the order. They got a Lexus LMGT3 up the road, and that's definitely going to play into the hands of Lilienkamp. Precker trying to get space, finding the Peugeot, but now there's the Lexus, and that is the sense of multi-class racing. That is Eldrick St. Jules, I think, trying to move out of the way, flashing them, saying, I'm sorry, we couldn't go anywhere. That potentially cost him a bit of time in Norman Tracker, but he's definitely catch up to come back. That's now Thomas Bach. Another time. Out of 5 now, the income. Precker's trying to go forward again. Trying to get to the Porsche. Trying to get to the Porsche, but he's got one of them clear, but Peugeot is pretty straight in a straight line. We do know that much. Now, Peugeot is back ahead, but it goes a little bit deep there. Now Ferrari is back up the, well, not up the rear wing because Peugeot doesn't have a rear wing, but you get the idea. Gaining all the time. They got some LB2 cars up the road. I think that's just with Kuzman as well as Cameron Thompson. No, it's just with Kuzman and Ronald Martinez who are fighting for the win in round 1 of the championship. Now fighting for one of the positions further down the order. Then Corkles even had to repair some damage. Closing the gap on Minecraft, so we see some different strategies here definitely. And pit stops definitely made they mix up the order pretty damn rapidly because stuff like Norman Tracker definitely profit. Did help. Ronald Martinez seemingly having a moment because he's now 8 seconds down from the primal car who was just fighting. There is the primal car, now the Ferrari to the inside. The Peugeot doesn't want to give up the place. And now Precker on the inside of Lilienkamp. There's a McLaren. This is another GT3 problem for the front over Precker, but the Peugeot just steers right into the side of the Ferrari. Precker flashing lights to the GT3 to indicate get out of my way. Precker is not happy about this. And I wouldn't be either, I don't really blame him. That was a questionable move by Nico Lilienkamp at 93, and he just decides to let Precker go. Some great sportsmanship there. That over is the that position. Back, we have a yellow. Larry Benton has decided to retire the Finland 9, Alan Beach, Golden Toms, 9, GT3, 9,000 on track. 6 kilometers after about, well, we're not quite halfway there yet. Getting close. Now they're not really eating LMP2 is a long way back because Griezmann not in races. He's not having a good race. He's over 1 minute down on Alphonse Velen. As Robert English now gaining on 3rd place in the Europole, and Thompson Jones seemingly the forces that try to fight it out for the win here. Now we got a lot of GT3 traffic. That is Corey Jason, that is Edward Penna, and that is Isaac Busby. Might see a 3-way GT3 fight coming up soon. Now, Ferrari goes by. Side. Corey Jason having because Griezmann is going down the inside of the Lexus. All 3 classes at Le Mans, that's luckily someone won't have to miss out on. Maybe there's also 4 classes. No, I'm just kidding. We'll definitely see what NXT has planned for seasons 2 and 3. We have a lot of plans and we'll try to make them work. To make this a nice and unique experience for you guys. And these guys on the track. You know what? Why don't we go? Why don't we go on board with the Lexus of Corey Jason, who's currently all over the wheel of the Lamborghini of Edward Penna. Penna now trying to defend the inside line. Corey Jason going for the long way, and he's got the, here comes the hypercar, the Cadillac going through. Edward Penna now on the inside, back on the attack, and maybe he's able to squeeze ahead. Whoops, got a little bit there, but Edward Penna using that multi-class moment of the Cadillac flying by to his advantage, taking the same gap and getting back ahead of the Lexus. But now he's got a bigger problem than just one big car up behind him. It's 2 of them. It's the Lexus and the BMW trying to go past the Lamborghini GT3. Apologies. Unfortunate spike piloted by Von Ravenstein is in the pit lane now. Carter had such a great start, and we got 90 minutes left on the clock. So we got basically one NXT race up in front after all of this action. And that also means we are over 1 hour into this race. And we are 9 hours of this race. So we have a beautiful Cadillac flyby. I cannot stop blazing this car. It's just a lovely sound, isn't it? Thomas Marcus now. Class. Oh, what happened there? No, it's gonna get ugly now. Corey Jason on the inside of Edward Penna. Edward Penna doesn't want to give up the place and now swoops ahead of the Lexus. Now there's the number 22 United Autosports car as well. It's number 183. A, of course, car. 2 LMP2 cars on a mission. They don't want to get hauled up by the GT3 cars. But totally different. And now there's a gap for the Lexus. Penna does cover off the inside line. Jason sticks to the outside line, but I don't think he can get the power down enough. Edward Penna sweeps back to the inside for Indianapolis and stays ahead of the Lexus. Corey Jason late on the brakes here. This is the battle for the leads. there is the LMP2 car of Edward Cockle, flashing lights. Getting by. Back there's another car, I think that's a Toyota. Of Charles Anton Winf. Currently sixth position overall. And in hypercar. We have lost 2 cars in total. Thomas Markish now lost as well. He's parked at number 99 Proton Porsche. We've lost 7 cars within the first hour of this 2.4-hour race. There's the Toyota. Edward Penham. The guy was a little bit. He wasn't too confident because in this lobby the assists are turned off and he's usually using auto gears. So looking at his current performance, he might want to turn them off next time because he's absolutely flying at the moment. Oh my god, there's the commentator's curse. He's made a little mistake and now there's the chance for Corey Jason, but he couldn't commit to it because he couldn't find the line there through and out of the Lamborghini. And now there's a BMW in the mix as well. And Isaac Busby is hungry. He was in the lead of this race. He was on pole position by quite a margin. And now he's trying to get back into this fight. He now hopped on board with Edward Penner. From the rear wing of that Lamborghini, the Lexus, you can see it gaining. You can see the BMW in the background as well. And now there's the chance for the Lexus. Is it enough? Is it enough this time for Corey Jason to take the lead of the 2.4 hours of Le Mans? Edward Penner out late on the brakes, very brave, and stays ahead of the Lexus. Edward Penner is doing some masterclass of defense here, but Corey Jason now with a good run down towards the second part of the Mulsanne straight, down to the second part and to the second chicane on the Mulsanne straight. That toe playing nicely into the hands of the Lexus. That car is over a decade old, but it's still fighting like it's absolutely a young timer. But the Lamborghini isn't too young of a car either. The Lexus is still, it's just missing that tiny bit every time they get into a braking zone. Now it's ever so close to Corey Jason going to the outside line. Edward Penner's going to have the inside line, and that rearing of that Lamborghini is not very high, I think, because he's staying ahead at the moment. Corey Jason just cannot pull alongside properly. Now into Indianapolis. This is a very technical, not Indianapolis yet, sorry, Indianapolis is up next. Still a very technical corner, the Mulsanne corner, and now Corey Jason has got it on the brakes. But what's the gap between the two of them? Ravenstein also into the pit lane. That leaves us with 24 cars on the road. A lot of retirements coming in here. Endurance not for everyone. So I don't blame either of these drivers. I don't know if I could manage to drive 144 minutes. Oh, but Edward Penner almost being hit by Jason. Almost gone into the back. Roland Dozer isn't too far off either. Marola Tire currently P2, the Sanders sitting in P5 in GT3, and now is there a chance for Corey Jason? On the inside now, the Lexus ever so closer on the Lamborghini. The Lamborghini is still on the inside line for the Porsche curves. Lexus, very cautious approach there by Jason. You rather lose 5 seconds because you had to avoid contact than lose, let's say, 100 seconds because of damage you got. Now Isaac Busby is getting into striking range of the Lexus as well. He's only two of them. It's only 1/10 between Jason and Penna, and this is a three-way fight for the victory right now. Let's be here with a lot wider line. Almost to start, finish, go now. 1, 2, 3. Almost boom drafting here. And that is a horrible angle. I just thought it was on a different camera than intended, but now there's a chance for the BMW on the Lexus. Then I'm turning that on the Lexus. But must be now on the inside. Corey Jason stays ahead. He's now trying everything, but now the BMW of Busby got the better run than the number 31 car. Behind that number 87. Got a better run, and this time he's that much closer to Penna, and we've said it over and over again. When is the time gonna be for Jason? When is the chance gonna be there? It might just be here on this occasion because he's close, gaining. Trying to pull alongside the Lamborghini. Has he got the straight line speed he needs now? He's almost alongside the Lamborghini, but the Lamborghini still inches ahead. Now over the curb, not the best line there for Penna. And now Jason might just try to hold on to P1. But he just cannot get it done. It's just that tiny bit of straight line advantage the Lamborghini has that's costing Jason the lead, the potential chance for taking the lead in this stage of the race right now. But look, once top speed is hit, the Lamborghini just starts to pull away, but just a little bit. And it's this time that this happens again as we approach the morning hours. Not gonna be long. They're still in that same scenario. It's one car length that Corey Jason needs, and look how the Lamborghini is pulling away. Look how much more power he's got to work with. Once Jason tucks into the slipstream. Now this is the Mulsanne corner. Corey Jason now with a switchback, and now the thing he might have done it. He might have gotten a hat. Corey Jason and Edward Penna side by side. And Jason now by a half car, and by the time they get to the first of the bonds of the straight, he's a whole car in front. He's done it. Corey Jason takes the lead of the race. Edward Penna's not going to give this up. He's got that tiny straight line speed advantage. Trying to go down the inside into Indianapolis corner. Corey Jason defends it. And Corey Jason has gotten ahead of Edward Penna, I think. The question is, when is this going to be over? And can Jason pull away now? Penna goes deep into the turn. And now the gap is 1 whole second here. And I think finally Jason takes the lead of the race after having a horror start. And that's what they say about endurance racing. You cannot predict anything as we approach the halfway mark of this race. One hour and 10 minutes should be the halfway mark. So now they are in morning stages. We can definitely make 1 or 2 TikToks with that is for sure. Also would like to do the YouTube pilots, but we're not having the manpower. So if you're a cutter and want to work with the league, we're always open for endurance racing on LMU and potentially some other simulations as well as Formula 1 sprint racing. Oh, little left there from the track side camera. And I'll be taking... I'll stay with you until the halfway mark of this race because there's still some fighting going on currently. Looking at the front, Alphonse Vallien is roughly 27 seconds in the lead of this race. Walter Dunn is sitting in P2 ahead of Mike Kraft. If Mike Kraft actually does get a podium at the moment, that would definitely boost his confidence by a mile. Jesper Kruisman seemingly has found his pace as he's now approaching the back of Cameron Thompson. Ever so slightly, and Abbott Cocker is approaching the back of Ronald Martinez on his own as well. In GP3, there's not a lot going on. Alex Sanchurz is getting closer to Roman Mendoza. But it's mainly going to be these three we're going to have an eye on. As someone calm down in Hypercar. Well, the gaps are between 20 seconds, between 20 and 10 seconds. Goes from Ash Nodong and Khabib comes in. You might see a little fight breaking out between these two. The Cup seems struggling right now, as would you believe that Norbert Precker is currently catching the likes of Mohamed Colombo. It's still 16 seconds, but he's gaining. Yeah, this is we haven't seen him in a long time, but here he is, your race leader, ladies and gentlemen. Omar Ali, the man for Porsche. 2.4 hours of basically just cruising. Easy 35 seconds gap to Mohamed Colombo. Fight approaching in LMP2. I mean, there kinda is a fight between the human courtmaster still trying to catch Alphonse Valley. There you can see the Ferrari approaching the back of the LMP2 car. Obviously no match for Alphonse Valley here, human courtmaster. He can go over 10 seconds, not 10 seconds. Well, that's 5. Maybe no, 10 seconds is fairly reasonable. 10 seconds quicker than the other two around the lap. Yeah. Alphonse Valley moves aside. That's cost him a little bit of time here. He's still got a lot of gap to the car behind Rotterdam. 30 seconds. We have Cameron Thompson. He's made a mistake, it seems, because Jesper Kruisman now in 5th position. It's not bad for Jesper Kruisman in 5th position with the double the amount of points. Alphonse Valley would get 32 points at the moment because of the 15 points. Actually, he would get, I think, either 32 or 34. I'm not entirely certain if we also give down points for fast lap and pole position, but he would definitely get at least 32 points. The race, and I think that was what he was looking for in that 81 Corvette, because it's the next definitely. That's why it's called endurance. And Isaac must be now. Corey Jason! What has happened to Corey Jason? Okay, I don't want to go into replay yet. What has happened to Corey Jason? We're gonna see at the end of the stream. Was there contact with Isaac Busby in the final? What is happening here? That means Edward Penner will finish on the podium. And that means that this fight is a fight for a podium now. I don't know if Mauro Lataio knows. I think he will have by now realized that he could get a podium here at Circuit de la South. That car up. That means Edward Penner is on points for the win. Edward Penner will get the full 50 points awarded if he finishes this race in second place. Because Isaac Busby is not going to score any points since he's not an NXT entry. But what has happened in these closing seconds? We'll check some of the chats. Omar Ali still leading by almost 100 seconds. What this man just does here over and over again is just absolutely insane. He's now lapping Robert English, who's on for a P3 finish at the moment. And that must be a lovely feeling. And also this guy, Minecraft, very, very good friends with him. Very, very proud of him that he's finally made it to a podium. He's deserved this one so much. It's not over though. Everything can happen yet. But I think this is going to be the penultimate lap for Omar Ali in that Porsche 963 hypercar with a Grand Slam. Yes he is. Max, yes he is. With a Grand Slam at Circuit de la South Le Mans. The sun sets. We got one more lap of racing, guys. One more lap for this enduring race. And he knows. He definitely knows what is happening to his game. Unfortunately, we cannot penalize any of the non-permanent entries for the season. Portugal, England, yes. You should have seen the incident between Mohamed Colombo, Norbert Precker, and GT3 cars today. The flying Ferrari, I'll say that much. I think that Porsche 963 through the Porsche curves. What a nice name for corner races. Nico Lidinkamp only 2 seconds off the Cadillac. Up in front is the fight for P4. Lidinkamp is going to get a P3 regardless because of that. Of the fact that neither the Cadillac nor Mohamed Colombo are full season entries, so they're going to get 3 season points. I don't think Edward Penner realizes yet. I don't know if he does. That he'll basically win a race on points in NXT, and that I think will give him the championship lead. So, one more lap here at Circuit de la South. After 2.4 enduring hours, Omar Ali, what a performance this has been. But he's got about 13 kilometers to go until he can finally claim victory here in NXT once again with another Grand Slam added to the legend of Omar Ali and the championship. Precker through everything, recovered from 9th to 2nd, but it's not enough. Omar Ali had to outscore him by 1 point, and he's gonna outscore Norbert Precker by I think 8 points. He's got the best lap with over 3 seconds of a gap. Absolute domination. Let's hope he can hold that up next season as well. But that means Porsche and Omar Ali will clinch the both championships. Alphonse Valley will make, and Jota will make the LMP2 championship interesting, whereas Edward Penner will score points for Lamborghini as he finds himself in the gravel, but the gap to Marantai is about 20 seconds, and he's absolutely pushing that BMW right now ahead of Elric St. Jules. This is for, that means Malatayo, I think, might actually take the championship lead. Elric St. Jules is also in the fight, so GP3 is definitely close. Closer maybe than someone would like. Norbert Precker had the big incident with Mohamed Colombo and the Ferrari 296 GP3 on the main straight. We're gonna see a lot here. GP3 and hypercar leader here. Omar Ali having to avoid there a bit. I think Isaac must be saying sorry for that one. Car is now down towards Indianapolis, flat out. Well, maybe not entirely flat, a little lift, otherwise you can't easily use the car. But from what I've seen, Omar Ali has done everything right, and the clock has hit 0. And one more time, we're gonna fly down this little straight to the Porsche curves. is throwing that Porsche in through these curves one more time. To the right, to the left, to the right, and to the left one more time. Onto these little straight, and he knows now he's done it once again. That makes me proud of signing this guy to AMS. So, one more corner to go, and Omar Ali can call himself a winner in NXT for the 2.4 hours of Le Mans. Omar Ali and Porsche win Le Mans in dominant fashion, a Grand Slam at Circuit de la Sarthe. And he is the champion, the driver's champion, the constructor's champion. Isaac Busby claims victory in LMGT3. He's sadly not going to score any points. But there you have it. There is your winner. Who's going to cross the line next? It's going to be Robert English with a podium for Jota from dead last. He finishes P3 for Hertz Team Jota. Who is next? Is it going to be Norbert Precker? Is it going to be Edward Penner? Second on the road, but Edward Penner will take the full 30 points for a victory. Edward Penner takes second in LMGT3 and will win on the points.